Right now at noon, we check out the damage after a tornado moves through parts of Crawford County, Kansas and Vernon County, Missouri.
We've got showers and some thunderstorms across the area. Thankfully, no severe weather to speak of. We'll take a look at that forecast for you coming up.
And authorities ask drivers to avoid a fatal crash scene outside of Columbus.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
4 staters begin the long process of assessing yesterday morning's storm damage. This is KOAM News at Noon. I'm Samantha Walker. In Nevada, a number of homes and businesses are damaged. KOAM's Melissa Alexis was able to speak to one business owner impacted.
After a tornado hit Nevada, Missouri, a woman's future home and family business were destroyed.
I don't know, this is a shock.
Sherry Snyder is a resident of Nevada, Missouri, and she recently bought a new home. A home that happened to be destroyed by the tornado one day before her scheduled move-in day.
But we could see the house from one of our cameras, so we could already see on the camera that the house was destroyed. We just didn't know about the garage, couldn't really see it.
And she says she almost stayed the night at the home and says she's glad she didn't. One of the reasons she was moving to the home is to be close to her family business, which is just a few feet away from the home. The family business is called Nevada Oaks, where Missouri Welding Institute students live.
I thought, well, this would be nice to live over here for a good 9 months so I could be closer to my dad and be here to run, the place for him.
She says the business is her and her dad's pride and joy.
My dad and I, we love the welding students. My dad, we eat, sleep, and breathe this place, so we're here all the time. Other family members are here and work here, and that's the sad part. We've all bonded and had a really good time doing this together.
Snyder says she hopes she can rebuild both the home and Nevada Oaks. But for now, she's still in a state of shock.
I'm not sure what the next steps are going to be. I think everybody's just in shock right now, and when that wears off, we'll probably sit down and discuss as a family of what to do next.
And now she says she's just happy her welding students are safe. Reporting in Nevada, I'm Melissa Alexis, KOAM News.
Snyder says the only person she's aware of who suffered injuries is a maintenance man for Nevada Oaks. Let's check in with Chris Warner for a look at the forecast.
Yeah, thankfully not dealing with severe weather across our region today, but unfortunately for those who are out there trying to clean up, we are dealing with showers, some heavy rain at times, and thunderstorms across the area. So as we mentioned this morning, if you are out there and you are working on that cleanup, you've got to be cautious, be aware. If you start to hear thunder, you need to head to a safe location, a shelter of some kind, because you do not want to be caught out in one of those storms, because the lightning is still dangerous, still deadly, whether the storm is severe or not. You can see the rain falling. Our camera downtown Pittsburgh, taking a look at MoDOT camera 20th and Range Line. Everybody got their wipers on, and hopefully everybody's got their headlights on as well as we see this rain, and it's been heavy at times come through. Station here, we've been hit by lightning a couple of times. Again, nothing severe, but you can see every so often we get pockets of very heavy rainfall, and we do get those lightning strikes out there, and we've still got additional showers and thunderstorms that are developing off to our south and west could eventually bring, at least for some of us, the threat for some small hail, mainly south of I-44, like that storm, for example. Not saying it will, but it's by itself. It could pick up a little bit and maybe bring a chance for small hail, which is why we still have that low risk south of I-44 for a strong storm or two. And again, hail would be the primary concern at this point. I started yesterday at 48, and we made it up to 76. We had a very warm day yesterday, and we started very warm as well, and that's part of what led to the energy for those storms. 49 in Joplin and Pittsburgh. It's not nearly as warm today. Most of us in the upper 40s. We have some low 50s, and that's what we were talking about this morning. A lot of us were just going to kind of hover. Now out to our northwest, we might see some of that rain let up for a bit. You might warm up a hair, but the majority of us just hanging out upper 40s, low 50s. Shower storms start to become a lot more isolated overnight, and then they'll start to return as we head into our Friday, and we still have at least a possible severe risk with Friday storms. We'll go over those details with you here in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Thanks, Chris. Like Nevada, another community dealing with damage is the small Vernon County village of Moundville. Residents spent the day cleaning up the damage done to homes and businesses. Many buildings had their roofs stripped away, and the iconic Moundville gas station is nothing but rubble. On the other side of all this devastation, there are people doing what they can to provide relief to those affected.
All of these people are volunteers. They just live in the local area and they show up and they have equipment, and we're cleaning the streets, making the streets where they're passable. And people don't even know who they're helping, but yet they got chainsaws and they're out there doing it and equipment's moving it. And when a community comes together, you don't really have to ask.
On top of all the community help, MoDOT, Missouri Highway Patrol, the Sheriff's Office, and the Red Cross have come through Moundville to provide assistance. There appears to be much less damage in the area of Arma and Arcadia, where the tornado apparently first touched down. Residents in that area tell us they heard the tornado pass and took shelter. There are some homes and businesses with damage.
Woke up around 7:20 this morning to alarms going off in Arcadia, and we can hear them, and we're about 3 miles outside the city limits, and I could hear them, and we could also hear a sound I've never heard, having lived in Kansas most of my life. It was a very, very scary sound and a very still in the area. I immediately ran to my basement and started contacting the neighbors.
Got my daughter up, getting her ready for school. Heard Doug Hetty come on the TV when I turned it on, saying that at that point it was in Arma, and we took shelter in the bathroom. It was coming our way, and when it got here, it's like the house started shaking. Really, honestly, I thought to have more damage than this. When I came out and looked, I was, it sounds bad, but pleasantly surprised.
At the time of our interview, Irwin was still without power, but says he is grateful he only had minor damage. Cherokee County authorities are responding to a major wreck near Columbus. Columbus Fire and Rescue says it's a fatal head-on collision involving 2 vehicles. It took place this morning west of Columbus on Highway 160 near Northwest 50th. Authorities ask you to avoid the area until the scene has been cleared. You can find more details on our website as they become available. Coming up, it's been 1 day since President Trump announced his tariff plans. We'll have the latest from Washington. And later, we're making a dreamy flan in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. The markets and Americans are taking in President Trump's sweeping new tariff plan. The highest tariffs in nearly a century are set to take effect soon, starting with an all-across-the-board baseline tariff of 10%, then added reciprocal tariffs on nations that oppose duties on U.S. goods. The White House says the move is designed to spur manufacturing here in the United States. Natalie Brand is tracking the latest from the White House.
The Dow sank more than 1,000 points at Thursday's opening, digesting the Trump administration's sweeping tariff plan.
These changes in the stock market, while they're initial, long-term, you've got to assume, and medium-term, and employment-based, you're going to see America thrive.
President Trump is imposing a 10% baseline tariff on nearly all trading partners, then hitting dozens of countries with reciprocal tariffs. The White House says they're roughly half of what those countries are charging the U.S.
Reciprocal, that means they do it to us and we do it to them.
The Trump administration is defending its plan as a long-term strategy, saying it's a matter of national security.
The United States can no longer produce enough antibiotics to treat our sick. If anything ever happened from a war standpoint, we wouldn't be able to do it.
China faces a new 34% tariff on top of what's already been imposed. The EU faces a 20% reciprocal tariff.
What the United States is doing is pushing countries away from us.
Economists say Americans can expect higher prices for everything from electronics to clothing.
Allies have tried to talk him out of it, but he really doesn't seem to understand that tariffs are paid by Americans.
Exempt from the new tariffs, Canada and Mexico, which are already facing taxes on select goods that the president put in place earlier this year. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Still to come on KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
The best flan I've ever eaten. If you come back in a few minutes after I finish this, I'll show you how to make it. I promise.
And we're tracking showers and thunderstorms today. More of them on the way. The latest when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM News at Noon. So we've been dealing with rain. Some of it's been heavy at times, and we've had some thunderstorms. Like I said, lightning struck here at the station a couple of times. Obviously, everything's fine, but that's how we kind of knew things were kind of ramping up, and that's how it's been through the morning as well. We've had lightning kind of ramp up with these storms, and then it fizzles back out, and then it ramps back up again. Let's start with that look outside downtown Pittsburgh, and obviously the camera lens is wet, and you can see the rain falling. The roads are wet, and well, that is also because the rain is falling. Skywatch storm trackers. So take a look. We've got some reds out there, and if this was a severe weather event, this could be a more concerning situation. But the reds also just indicating we're getting some pretty heavy rainfall out there. We're going to start on the southwest Missouri side. Right now, you see there's one lightning strike north of Greenfield. I know folks around Mound Valley or Moundville rather, and Nevada are still cleaning up from that tornado. I know you're dealing with the torrential rain, and please again remember, same thing if you were outside on just enjoying a picnic or something. When thunder roars, you've got to head indoors. You do not want to be putting yourself in danger out there. But a lot of heavy rain. We've got a pretty heavy cell right over Jasper County, rolling through Carthage, heading off to the north and east. We head over to the Kansas and Oklahoma side. We've got some heavier rain stretching from about Columbus through to Chautauqua to Lenape. And again, all of this activity associated with this whole system that's rolling through. Now, south of I-44 is where we have that chance for potentially, I want to emphasize that too, potentially a strong storm or two that could produce some small hail. And if you watch this loop, I'm about to move this down. We had this one cell come up. It would go severe warned every so often, and then it would stop, and then it'd start again. Well, it fizzled out. We are watching another little cell here that's east of Tulsa, southwest of Jay. Nothing severe with it, nothing even looking severe, but it's by itself. So if it wanted to maybe try and produce some small hail, right now it's the one that has the best chance. The greatest severe risk is going to be to our south, across Arkansas, where they could potentially see the possibility of a strong tornado or two. We are just on the northern fringe, which is why we have that low hail risk. Now that risk for Arkansas and down to the south continues into tomorrow. And as I mentioned, this won't update until we're off the air this afternoon, but we'll be here this evening. We'll have some new information for you, but we still do have that low to elevated hail threat, and you can see that spreads over a broader area. Yesterday, that was further southeast, so we'll keep an eye on it, and if you look close enough, just barely skirting us here is a low tornado threat, and then same thing on the other side, a very low wind threat. So any concerns we have tomorrow would really be with the potential for hail, but we'll keep an eye on it. So what does this look like on the future track? Well, it's a big colorful mess on the future track, but here we are at 2 o'clock. And you see we've got these brighter colors down here, again, south of I-44, where that chance is for a strong storm or two with some small hail. Now we go into the evening and overnight, we actually kind of get a little break, just a few isolated showers, but it does not take long as we head into tomorrow morning before we get another round of showers and storms. And we could see, again, strong to low-grade storms in the southeastern portion of our area. We'll get pauses just like some of us will get today here and there, but we'll continue with scattered storms through most of the day. It looks like our better windows for any potential stronger storms are going to be between about 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. tomorrow, and then possibly another round heading into the afternoon hours between, say, 2 and 6. Once that rolls through, we get yet another pause going Friday night into Saturday morning, and then by about 7, 8 o'clock, here comes another round. Now, we don't have any severe risk with this activity at all, but we could see some showers and storms there. Now, something of note, this particular model showing the rain going away. That's one possibility. There's the remote chance that we get rain to continue from Saturday night into Sunday morning. If that happens, take a look at the low for Saturday night. That's 35 degrees. So we could see a brief transition to maybe some light snow showers. It wouldn't add up to anything, but we'll keep an eye on that. If you're out late Saturday night, don't be surprised if you see a few snowflakes if it's still raining. Outside of that, we start to warm up next week. Couple of pop-up showers next Wednesday, but otherwise the nice temperatures return back into the upper 60s and low 70s.
I know you said the weather we're going to see this next day or two is not going to be as severe as yesterday, but it's definitely still something we want to pay attention to.
We do want to keep a close eye on it, but not expecting anything like what we saw yesterday.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Chris. Stick around. We're making dreamy flan in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. We'll be right back. Today we head to Latin America where we're making a dreamy flan in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
I hope you've been enjoying our week-long celebration of international food favorites. Today, I couldn't be more excited than to share a creamy dessert that's a staple throughout Latin America. Of course, I'm talking about flan. Just saying the word gets my mouth watering. So what do you say I show you how to make this? To make the caramel topping that flans are known for, we heat some sugar in a skillet, and once it's amber in color, we pour it into a cake pan and swirl it like this. While this sits for a bit, we add a can each of sweetened condensed and evaporated milk into a blender, along with some eggs, vanilla, and a bit of sugar. Then we give it a whirl. Now, this gets poured into our pan that we set inside a roasting pan. We carefully add some water until it's halfway up the sides of the flan pan, and we bake it. The hot water bath ensures that this will cook evenly as it bakes. After this sets and cools, it's ready to flip out onto a rim platter. There you have it, the richest, creamiest, and most amazing flan you've ever tasted. I rarely say this, but if you don't visit our website and get the recipe for our dreamy flan, you'll really be missing out. I'm Howard with Kelly in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a Latin-inspired way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
You can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Now here's a look at the 4-state market prices.
You got those showers and thunderstorms continuing across the area again. Nothing severe, but we will watch that possibility for maybe an isolated strong storm or two south of I-44 with some small hail as a possibility. Outside of that, showers and storms will resume again tomorrow. We do have a slightly higher risk for a strong or low-grade severe storm in the eastern half of our area, so we'll keep an eye on that. And then rain continues Saturday, maybe into Sunday morning. It will start to warm up a little bit next week, 60s and 70s back in the forecast.
I know tonight we're going to be continuing to track those potential storms, but you also have some other important stories coming up at 5 for us tonight.
A whole lot's coming up at 5. For starters, TikTok is almost out of time to find a buyer again. The app's future is uncertain as potential ban in the U.S. could be just days away. We're going to have the latest on who's in talks to potentially purchase the company. Plus, a look at how President Trump's tariffs might or might not impact 4-staters' daily lives, and how agencies in the 4 states are raising awareness of Child Abuse Prevention Month. Hope you join us for those stories. A lot more, of course. It's coming up today. KOAM News at 5.
Thank you so much, Dow. That's the news for now. Thank you so much for joining us at KOAM News at Noon. Have a great rest of your day.